So in a video about me being clueless in game, I figured this was an appropriate opening. Me being clueless to my 6-year-old behind me. When I was editing this today, he was quite proud of the fact that I had not noticed him a couple nights ago when I was streaming. So the reason I'm using the stream VOD in the first place is I went to record the replay normally from the game, and the mods are messed up, and I wasn't able to use the sidebars, and that's a very big part of what this replay is, so that's why we're using the stream VOD. So basically what we're going to be doing here is, when I start a match, I typically look at what ships are in the game, what ships I'm against, and I try to pay attention to where ships are spotted, and I try to pay attention to when they aren't spotted. So you can see here, I'm heading into the B cap. I am supported by the Sevilla Russia behind me, and the Hipper. And you can see on the enemy team, it's a 5-4-3 comp. 3 destroyers, a ZF-6 Nakatsuki and the Leningrad. And then 3 of the 4 cruisers against me have radar. And then there's 5 battleships. So I want to be very careful, typically, about playing close to islands and things where a radar cruiser could catch me out. The enemy destroyers definitely have a bit of a leg up on me when it comes to detection and probably gunning me down unless they give me some full broadside. I need a few AP pens, so I need to be careful and pick my spots very carefully. So I start off by going to B cap, which is an open water cap for the most part, and gives you just a little bit of an edge in the fact that nothing can creep up on it that easily. So because this thing doesn't have the greatest detection, I back into the cap here. If I don't want to get in an extended DD duel here, so I'm just playing very cautiously here. I can leave whenever I need to. We're going to freeze it here. So the first things I'm looking at is A and C are both being capped. Likely they are being capped by enemy destroyers. Because there's only 3 enemy destroyers, that means that there's at max 1 destroyer that will be contesting me for B. The torps that had gone past me while I was maneuvering to get into the cap here made me think that I'm likely up against an Akatsuki. Akatsuki doesn't have the greatest detection. It's pretty much close to the same as my detection, so neither of us has much of an advantage in spotting each other. So let's blow this minimap up here and let's look at a few things. The Tashkent went right up the west side of A, completely ignoring the A cap. At this time, we have spotted 3 of the battleships and 3 of the cruisers. Over on the east side, we've got the Cleveland, the Riga, and on the west side, we have the Indracht. So that leaves us the Buffalo that has not been spotted yet. Because we have the Cleveland and the Riga that likely spawned on the east side there, and the Indracht that spawned on the west side, the Buffalo likely spawned center. So had I realized that in this game, I would have been trying to figure out where the Buffalo was. However, I was so engrossed in trying to figure out this duel with this likely Akatsuki, I did not realize that. Now, where could the Buffalo be? We know that he is not behind the B cap by at least 4 kilometers. The Buffalo's best detection is 10.7. So you can pretty much use just a little bit further than your torpedo's range, and you should be able to figure out how far away you should be able to detect this Buffalo. Now, there's an island to my northwest that is blocking a bit of view, but there's also a little bit here where he would be spotted if he had charged right into A cap. But that obviously gives me a bit of a blind spot in front of the center area where he would have spawned, and I also know that the Tashkent went wide west of A cap and did not spot this area. The best detection that the Tashkent would have been able to provide before the island doesn't even reach across A cap. So you're starting to see where this is going. So let's play it out here. I'm obviously worried about trying to get the cap before the Akatsuki decides to come back into the cap. So I see that the Leningrad has left his smoke at A, and I confirm that yes, indeed it is an Akatsuki that is going to be here at B cap. So up until this exact moment, nothing I've done without that knowledge will have hindered me. However, here I make the decision to try and work up towards this island on the west side instead of going back towards the east side to wait for the Akatsuki to come back into the cap. My thought is that I might be able to use that island to shield me from enemy fire from the battleships and perhaps the Leningrad at A cap while I take a duel with the Akatsuki. He starts to cap it, and I know that he has to have come into it from the northeast corner, so I send my torps across to where he would likely encounter them easiest. He's decided to charge right in, and we open up at about 6 kilometers here. A few salvos back and forth at each other. So he doesn't shoot at me right here, so he's obviously trying to launch torps is my guess. So I decided I need to kind of turn out and get away from him and make sure I don't eat any of his torpedoes. He smokes up here, I break detection with him, nothing is within my shooting range. I think that I'm pretty much getting away from him scot-free. So right here I get radared, and basically all the information that I've just explained to you for the last 3 minutes comes flooding into me in a rush as I realize the Buffalo has come down the west side, he's on top of that island, and there's no way I'm going to get out of here. So yeah, all the information was available to me. Some of it I realized at the time, like the Tashkent going wide west of A. However, I did not endeavor to make sure I knew where all the cruisers were, including a radar cruiser, or stay away from areas where they could show up. So, like I said, the rest of it came rushing in right when I got radared here. So, a big misplay from me. If I had gone to play off in the southeast corner of B, then I stay alive. We have a much better outcome because the Buffalo is out in no man's land and probably gets hammered by that Georgia. So yeah, pay attention to the minimap, pay attention to the ship list, pay attention to the spawn locations, especially early in the game. You can figure out a lot from that. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to be notified when I do more of this type of video, please hit the subscribe button. You can also catch me on Twitch, and we'll catch you next time.